Welcome back to Edgework, presented by FanDuel as part of the Hammer Betting Network. I am Alex Moretto, joined here today by Rob Pizzola and So Many Sports. We have the three-man panel for today, and I have half a mind to kick both of you out of here and turn this into a 45-minute show talking about how the Habs are in a playoff spot. I am very, very close to doing that, but I don't think I think the audience would drop off in a hurry if I did. So I will refrain from doing that here, but I do want to talk about the Habs a little bit at one point. I want to talk about the Canucks. Big win last night. A lot of stuff to get to here as these playoff races heat up. And we do have some time today because there are just 2 games on the schedule for tonight. I will start, though, with the recap of yesterday's bets quickly, where we had a 3-4 night. But there is a little bit more combing through there that needs to be done here. And I'm not in the business of throwing people under the bus. So Money has carried this show for large stretches at different points of the season. But So Money, last night you went full Albert. You went 0-4 on your bets. I just need you to take us through what happened there with the you got a good close on that Jets total. Utah ended up bouncing back in your favor a little bit too, numbers wise, and then the Ducks and the Pens. Take us through what happened with those 4 bets.
Yeah, I think it's just one of those nights where I just didn't see things well. I don't think I spent long enough in the lab. Maybe if I had gotten up a little bit earlier, maybe like an hour earlier, and spent some more time, I think that I would have been able to see the board better. Penguins, I expected more from them, but they were outplayed in that game and they deserved to lose. Ducks, you take a shot with a big dog, you get them into overtime. I have no problem with that play. I would do it again. Penguins, I wouldn't do again. The Canucks under, that was bad as well. Like it's just rough, right? Like I thought that I didn't think that Winnipeg would get into a back and forth game. I didn't think that they wanted to, but they were fine with it, and the Canucks complied. Hellebuck wasn't good either. It's something to keep in mind, right? As the games get tighter and as the book on Hellebuck is out, right? Like, I mean, especially in the playoffs, you need to get traffic in front of him, right? And we saw that in the Colorado series. We saw that kind of in the Four Nations in the first period there, where they were getting they were getting guys in front of the net with him, right? And then what was the last play there? Utah, yeah, that was just a bad play, right? Like that was.
They almost had him in the first period there.
I mean, they didn't even get get off the bus there, right? Like it's just, it wasn't a terrible start, but I mean, like once the Oilers got going, there was no chance. So I mean, yeah, it was rough. It was rough, but we move on. And like it's frustrating because you can't even say that. Or like besides the Anaheim play, I would have done things differently for all the other games, and so like that's the frustrating part of it. But you move on.
Yeah, no, for sure. Shifting to the good for a sec, we did get the Anaheim Dallas over and the Edmonton Utah over home, and then my faith in your Canucks was rewarded as the Canucks get home as well. We've got a little bit of a bad number there, but we mentioned that on the show that you could probably wait a little while before you jumped in on Vancouver. For the sake of the show, we did track it at that number, but that's what went well. And speaking of what went well, your Canucks did go well. They did respond after that pretty miserable weekend and that miserable game against Utah. Are you back to believing in this team again? They're, according to some Twitter people that project out these playoff stuff, their public models, the Canucks are back to a over 50% chance to make the playoffs here. Does that feel like that's actually the case or no?
I mean, they're gonna go back and forth, right? Like, give me 2 games where they can play up to their ceiling, and I will be more open to them making the playoffs. But the Blues are coming, man. They're playing very well. I believe they have the tiebreaker as well. I'm not sure about that, but that team's coming. So I think. Yeah, show me a couple of games of ceiling here, right? And I'll start believing again.
Yeah.
They have a decent shot though. Like the Wild could easily fall out of it as well. The Wild suck. I don't like they low key. They absolutely cannot score. There's no offensive talent there like whatsoever right now. So the Blues are hot, but like Minnesota is faltering big time. Where it could be possible where I haven't looked at yes/no prices on playoffs lately, but I would not be surprised if the Wild missed out. I mean, still 6 points up on Vancouver and St. Louis, but they are low key bad.
Things are going south in a hurry for them there. And they do play tonight, so we will get into that game in a little bit here as well. I do want to. I don't know if you guys caught that game at all or caught highlights or anything post game, whatever. But that arena, when the team is good at this time of year, there is very, very little like it in sports. It is just unbelievably electric. The fans were going nuts. I'm not sure if you guys saw the Josh Anderson interview, but he came out onto the ice after the game to they talked about what it feels like to be in a playoff spot, and the crowd was going for about a minute and a half before he could even get a word out, just chanting. When this team is good in March, I mean not good, but like you know what I mean, when they're in this position and battling for something and actually playing for something, that arena is unreal. I don't know if you guys caught any of that.
I mean, I've been there in person before several times, right? I used to work out on the native reserve just outside of Montreal. So every single time I was in town, I try to go to Habs games. And I mean, it's a big arena. It's extremely loud relative to other arenas. Obviously, I'm in Toronto. It's very corporate. I've been to many rinks around the league, but I think it's because the fan base doesn't really understand hockey all that much. So they can just really get into the game a lot more. Whereas in Toronto, you know, smarter hockey cities, people are processing the game in real time. They're seeing this stuff happen. Montreal's a bunch of Neanderthals. They're just yelling the entire time. They don't know what's happening. They don't understand the game as well. So I think that has a lot to do with it, honestly. The fans there, they just don't get it. They
just uneducated fans, hey?
That's I mean, I've been there before. I've seen it firsthand, you know, at least a dozen times. They don't understand the sport, and that's fine, but they make up for it by being loud.
I'm not even going to address that. This is just so baseless that it doesn't even need to be touched on. Go ahead.
I think Moretto was just shocked there because I saw where Rob was going with this, and I'm like, why is he cutting in right now? I'm like, is he looking at baseball lines right now? Like, what's going on?
I was half reading the chat, half looking at baseball lineups, scrolling Twitter, and then I realized what he was saying, and I was like, this is so dumb that I'm just going to let it continue, whatever. But yeah, we have a few questions from the chat we want to get to as well. Jordan here also says, Wild No was plus 1,000 2 days ago. I can't imagine that's where it is now, but damn, that is a big number. Claudio asks if, I'll let you field this one here first, Rob. Do you consider the Leafs Stanley Cup contenders? I mean,
the Leafs can win the cup, but like I don't think they're on the tier of like their contender tier, right? So it depends on how you define contender, right?
Yes.
At the end of the day, the Leafs can win the cup. They can. A lot of things would have to go right for them. They can get it done, but do I consider them to be in like that elite tier of teams that? No, I don't. So that's where I'm at now.
Yeah, I mean, I think it would be crazy to say they're not contenders. Anyone that's, you know, in a position that they're in to finish top 3 in their division, still competing for their division, of course, can win the cup and are contenders. There's just another group of teams that are stronger contenders than they are, but that doesn't make them, you know, not contenders. Right. Will says, settle down. Habs aren't playing for anything. They'd be better off tanking. I mean, they quite literally are playing for a playoff spot. So I don't really know what to make of that one. And then there's a comment from the worst person in the chat as well. I didn't even read it yet. I'm just going to probably risk to put it on screen. But how does it feel that 3 of you had as many shots on goal as 8 Rangers forwards combined last night? I don't know. Did you guys see the Mika Zibanejad quote? I'm going to pull it up quickly here, but I had it handy. He said last night, it's frustrating, really frustrating. I don't care if we play like that and we win. But if we lose and play like that, it's not acceptable. That might be the candidate for the worst quote or worst soundbite of the year. You're okay if you play like dog shit if you win the game. Like that, when you can never be okay with playing terrible. I cannot believe he actually said that, and that was a real quote. I don't know if you guys caught that at all.
This sounds like Albert in the chats here.
It really does.
What a dumb thing to say.
Yeah, it's the guys who like consistently don't get closing line value, and they're like, all you got to do is win, just win, baby. Doesn't matter. Like they don't realize that over like 1,000 game sample, it's probably a really bad sign. Reeks of the exact same thing, honestly.
That is
literally right in on gambling Twitter. Yeah,
that is the perfect analogy. Actually, that is actually the perfect analogy for what that is. We got our first bet of the night as well for this Wednesday. Branded Wednesday. Scott Wedgwood over 21.5 saves, and what is equals distant fourth bets.
Do we have a Wedgwood confirmation right now?
I don't believe so.
I thought Blackwood was going to play tonight.
I think he's largely just trolling when he posts shit in here. So
it's true. I do know Colton. He is a certified troll. He is.
Yeah, we have some other people that I won't bring them up on screen here because there's some mentions of some other books, but we got some good prices on better than 10-1 at this point still out there. Yeah. So
which like the 12, there's some 15-1 out there. 15-1 is 6.3%. They definitely have a higher than 6.3% chance of missing the playoffs. The team literally can't score. They cannot score goals, which is a fundamental problem at this point in the season. So, I mean, listen, you're probably going to lose the bet, but I think that's a valuable number. The 12s are probably good as well.
Yeah. Okay. We will get into tonight's games here in a second. Before we do, Puckheads, the NHL playoffs are right around the corner, and FanDuel is bringing you the best bets on the ice. Get in the lab when you make your same-game parlay by checking out FanDuel's player performance pages that track stats and averages all of your favorite players. Once you know who's cooking, add shots on goal, points, assists, or even goalie saves to your SGP. Missed puck drop, you can still tap in with live same-game parlay and period-specific player props. Right now, new customers can kick off the season with $150 in bonus bets if your bet wins. Just place any $5 bet, and you'll get $150 in bonus bets if your bet wins. Download FanDuel Sportsbook and make every moment more. Please play responsibly. Must be 21 plus and present in select states, or 18 plus and present in DC, or 19 plus and physically located in Ontario. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets, which expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-866-531-2600 or visit connex.ca. Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit fanduel.com/RG. Call 1-888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org/chat in Connecticut, or visit mdgamblinghelp.org in Maryland. Hope is here. Visit gamblinghelplinema.org or call 800-327-5050 for 24/7 support in Massachusetts, or call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY in New York. We will get into the first game of the night, and Rob is already wearing the hat, so you know where we're going here, where the Avs are taking on the Leafs in Toronto. Leafs plus 102 on FanDuel, Avs minus 122. A total that has seen a lot of back and forth so far. Under 6.5 on FanDuel, minus 132, over 6.5, plus 108. This opened right around where it is now. Got bet heavily at open towards the over, and has, as limits increased this morning, it has been bet right back down towards the under again. I know which way I'm leaning here towards on this total, but I will let Rob, since you're wearing the hat, I will let you lead us off here on this game. Do you like anything in Colorado, Toronto?
Yeah, so we didn't talk about this game before we went on air, so I'm curious to see your guys' opinions on this. So Joseph Woll just got confirmed for the Leafs. He'll be in net, which, I mean, my numbers still have him as a slight downgrade to Stolarz, even though Stolarz has kind of faltered a little bit. So honestly, the way that the market has pushed towards the under in the last hour or so, I do have a lean towards the over now, where we stand. It's not much, nothing that I will be willing to bet. The side price does seem fair. Colorado's they've been on a tear as of late, and I think that was kind of expected. Team gets a little bit healthier. They're like a little bit of a morale boost with Landeskog practicing now as well. Like, there's a lot going on there where I think that they're pretty optimistic. But the start of that run, they were really playing really well. The peripherals were great. Lately, they're probably getting a little bit lucky in terms of the results that they've pulled out in the last few games. The Leafs, on the other hand, though, like, I'm not really willing to say that they've flip the switch just yet because they beat up on Calgary.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if we go back to that game, it was 2-1 Leafs. Calgary scores a goal, would have made it 2-2. Leafs do really good jobs in terms of they know when to review the plays and things of that nature. But that goal comes off the board. Leafs score on the power play. They go on to win in a rout, and it completely changes the game. They did play well. Don't get me wrong. Toronto had a better game, but this is now, again, another step up in class for them. And recently, when we've seen the Leafs step up in class, those are the games they've struggled with. Then they get a team like Calgary, and okay, they blow the doors off them. This is a good litmus test game tonight. I do think that the line is fair where it stands right now. Over 6, I have like roughly a 1% edge. That's not enough for me to be willing to play it, and definitely would want to wait. I guess we don't have to wait. That would be with Blackwood. So I think with Wedgwood, immediately I would fire on the over there. But yeah, lean over is what I'm looking for with this game.
Okay, so Money, where are your thoughts at here, side and total? And do you agree here with Alber's burner super square that Colorado -1.5 plus 200 is a gift?
Well, I agree with a lot of things that Rob said. I've already fired on 2 plays here in the same game, which I rarely do. I just think that both the total and the side I like are very correlated. So I bet small on the under, and the reason for that, I'm assuming it's gonna be Blackwood. There's no reason why they wouldn't go Blackwood. So there's that. The second thing too is that, like, as Colorado has gotten better, and we've talked about this on the show here, we've seen a nice progression from them, and as they've turned the season around. In every step, it's been predicated on their defense, right? Like, this is a team that knows that they can score with anybody, but they do need to play strong defensively, and that's been a point of emphasis all year. We're seeing that even in that game against Toronto, where it got to, I believe it was a 7-4 game. Like, there was a lot of bad goaltending in that game, right?
Extremely low that game at 5-on-5.
Yeah. Both of those teams played the way that they wanted to play, which was tight defensively, right? So I have no reason to think that either team's going to deviate from that, right? So and Rob mentioned the stepping up in class with Toronto, and we touched on this a little bit earlier as well. That is Toronto a contender? Well, yes, I agree with Rob. They can win the cup, but there's another class that they need to get to that they're not there yet. Mm-hmm. Colorado is in that class, right? And you look at Toronto's wins here. They beat Calgary, Utah, Pittsburgh, Rangers, Boston, Chicago. There's a common theme here, right? They're good enough to beat all the teams they're supposed to beat, but then when they're stepping up against Colorado, against Florida, and I'm going to put Ottawa because Ottawa's a juggernaut. Right.
Oh,
so,
okay.
And you put
Habs are 3-0 against the Sens this year, just for the record, but okay.
Yeah.
And you put Ottawa in that level too, right? So I did bet Colorado, and I do believe that Colorado is correlated to the under with the way that Colorado wants this game to go. So half, I put half on the under and a full play on the Avs. Oh, numbers.
Okay.
The under I like up to -115. At the 6 though, I wouldn't play that juice 6.5, and then Colorado I've got up to -120.
Okay. I am in agreement with you on the under. So I did bet it at a different number this morning, but I guess I'm still okay with it kind of where it is now. For all the reasons you said, I don't need to kind of beat it to death, but basically, the way the Avs approach these type of games, the way the Leafs have been playing defensively, and especially now getting Tanev back, you've seen a noticeable shift in their numbers defensively as well. They did not have him for their last couple of, steps up, as we've seen them kind of give up a lot in some of these games against better teams. Some of those recent ones were skewed because of the fact that there is no Tanev. He does mean a lot to them on the back end. And that Avs game, we talked about it. Like, that was extremely misleading. I did bet the under in that game last time. I obviously didn't come close to getting that. I think it was 3-2 at the end of the first period or something like that. But like, bad goaltending. It was a very low event game at 5-on-5. Power plays were on a heater in that game. I expect this to be played very differently. in terms of, hopefully we get the better goaltending. Still think a low event game of 5-on-5, and we've seen Colorado's power play cool off as well, as they were kind of on a heater there for a while. So I am in agreement with you on the under, so I will lock that in for myself as well. And then we will track the Avs for you here too. We'll move on to the next game where we have the Kraken taking on the Wild. As I try and pull my screen back up here, we have the Wild -170, Kraken +140, total of 5.5, -115 to the over, -105 to the under. So Money, I will let you lead us off here this time. Your Seattle Kraken.
Man, this Kraken team is so annoying. Yeah, Grubauer going to be a net. So I touched on this a couple of I guess last week when Grubauer was coming back, and my thought process was how much worse is he going to be coming back than he was when he was here, right? And the answer to that question was that he's not going to be that much worse, right? So I think that this line where the market is on Seattle, the thought process around Grubauer being terrible is already it's already baked into the line here. Seattle on a back-to-back is already in there. The perception of Minnesota, which we've touched on this many times on this show, that this is a team that's going to be in a free fall. They're about to go on a free fall, and they have been, but the market perception is still valuing them as if they are a guaranteed playoff team, which obviously they're not. So I think that the number is too high. I did play Seattle, and I'm waiting for them to kill me again, but I gotta get back there. So I have them actually down to plus 133. So I do like Seattle up to that level. There's still a little bit ways to go there. I just like Seattle here. I think that we've been fading Minnesota for quite a bit here, and there's no reason for us to stop fading Minnesota. They haven't shown anything.
I just like Seattle here is something we are going to put on your tombstone one day, so Money, because we have heard that time and time again this season. Rob, are you in agreement here on the side? Or you have anything on the total? Anything you like in this game?
Yeah, so I would say I lean Seattle on the side. I prefer the total in this game, and Grubauer or not, I mean, it's been a generational run for me on wild unders, and I'm just going to go back to wild unders here. I mean, I don't think people really truly realize how low event and low scoring wild games have been since the Four Nations. Like if you take goals for per 60 and goals against per 60 for every single team in the league, and you add them up since the Four Nations, the Capitals are the most in the league, 6.09 goals per 60. The Wild are 3.03. They're 0.6 goals per 60 lower than any other team in the league during that span. And if you look at expected goals instead of the actuals, they're still lowest in the league at 4.44. They are playing very, very low event games that don't have many shots. They are just missing too much offensive firepower. And I'm just going to continue to ride it. Like, yes, Grubauer scares me. The guy's garbage. We know that. Whatever. I mean, look at where the price is at right now. I mean, I'm basically close to being able to get plus 100 on under 5.5 in some spots right now. To me, that's insane. I really like the under in Seattle, Minnesota.
Yeah. We've been betting a lot of wild unders on the show as well. I am fully in agreement here. I know I've talked a lot of shit about Grubauer on this show this year, but got to give him credit where it's due. He has looked much better since coming back from his stint in the AHL. 2 starts since coming back, and he has posted pretty strong numbers in both of them. He's up to 2 goals saved above expected in those 2 games combined, which, I mean, the baseline for him was like minus 1 per game at one point there. So he's definitely looked better. The Wild cannot score. Still playing good defensively. I was a little bit concerned about their defense and how it might drop off just based on the fact that they're going to need to adjust their style a little bit here to try and generate some more offense. But you know what? Picking up a win the other night, I think it really helps their cause, and to be able to keep kind of playing the way they've been playing. I don't think there's going to be any reason for them to stray, especially not here against a Seattle team that the last thing they're going to want to do is open up against Seattle and get into a back and forth.
Totally agree with that too. And then like you look at at Minnesota defensively, where they've really struggled, especially as of late, has been penalty kill. They don't have a great penalty kill. They haven't all year. Seattle's power play is not like a world-beating power play either, type of situation. So, yeah, obviously the goaltending situation scares you a little bit. We know when you look at Grubauer's season-long goal save above expected numbers, they're absolutely horrendous at minus 12.27 in 23 games. But I'm just going to keep going back to the well until the Wild actually play a wide open game, and they haven't for some time now. And even the games that they have been like average event type of games, they can't finish. So, yeah, I don't know. I think this one is mispriced. I have almost 3.5% edge on the under in this game.
Yeah. A good question here from Rob Holden as well. Do you think we see money come in on the over throughout the day, especially when they confirm Grubauer? And I think there's also a chance we see Fleury, 4 starts in a row for Gustafsson, just the way they've been deploying their goalies. That being said, I think with them being dragged back into this playoff race, they'll be a little bit more willing to lean on Gustafsson down the stretch here and not go to as much of a split. So I think there's less of a threat of Fleury, but definitely possible that the market reacts to Grubauer news. That being said, it could be bet too far towards the under for that to maybe at worst case, it just kind of gets back to where we are sort of now. So I don't know, Rob, what are your thoughts on that?
Well, think about it logically. I'm trying to think about the way that I would enter the market, and So Money has experience on this as well. Grubauer's not confirmed, but it's the second of a back-to-back. It's pretty likely he's going to get the start. If you like the over, I mean, if you're waiting for confirmation, then you're competing with a bunch of other people at that point as well. I don't know why someone would do that, honestly. So personally, I think it's already factored into the price. At the end of the day, I trust my numbers. There's going to be times where the market moves against me, and I'm not proud of that, but I go based off of what my numbers are. And if I see a good edge at the time, I'll go for it. Even Grubauer and Fleury, if that ends up being the matchup, I still like the under at this price, and that's worst case scenario. So, for me, it's I don't know what kind of money is going to come in, but I think the market kind of is pretty confident that Grubauer's starting in this game.
Yeah, that's the thing. I think that the market reactions to these goalie confirmations usually happen when they come as a little bit more of a surprise, or there's a lot more uncertainty in terms of who's going to start. With this being the second half of the back-to-back, I think the market is approaching this game knowing fully that it's going to be Grubauer here. Would expect less of a reaction when that is confirmed. We do have 4 bets in 2 games. Well done. That is, we came out firing nonetheless. You guys, a small slate can't stop us from firing on this show.
I check the comments on every single one of our brands every day. And for ages, there was always a few people who came in there and they'd be like, what? There's 7 games and you guys only have 3 bets. Fuck that guy. We're going ham now. Yeah. Bet the board, baby. Let's go.
Yeah. We have a 12-game slate tomorrow, 24 bets. All right. That's it. That's how we're going to start doing things from now on.
It's just the way that things work out sometimes, right? It doesn't work out for me where I usually have 2 bets in the same game, and it's just it's just how it works sometimes. These are like the 2 bets in the Colorado game. They're very correlated in my opinion. So I just and there's an edge on both. So and yesterday or I remember last week we had a 12 game board, and I'm sitting there I only have 3 plays here.
Yeah, we barely fired.
Just the way it goes.
Yeah. I don't know that it makes the most sense to put together an anytime goal parlay here. I didn't put together a no-goal parlay, just full disclosure. There's only 2 games. Getting a no-goal, you're going to have to lay some hefty juice on anything we do there. We did cash the no-goal parlay last night, though, as well. We didn't recap that as along with our bets, but that did get home. We're obviously not going to have one tonight. We have 2 unders, so I mean, an anytime goal parlay might be a little counterintuitive. Rob, I know you like a goal scorer in the Colorado-Toronto game, and that kind of negatively correlates with our total and side play. What about a little negatively correlated SGP if we put something like that together here as a fun one to track for tonight?
Yeah, you could go that way. Normally I like to give out goal scorer and bet goal scorer props every now and then, both the yes and the no. It's no secret what I look for with players when I like to take a yes on goal, it's players that are getting opportunity, have generated a lot of chances, and for whatever reason, they're just shooting below their career rates over a very small sample size. So I look at the Leafs game. I like the prices on Matthew Knies to score a goal today. Again, opportunity's always there with him. First line player, gets power play one time. I think this will play kind of like a playoff game, especially for Toronto as well. And I like Knies a lot in those situations. He gets to the net. He plays dirty. So that's the look for me in the Leafs game. And then Seattle, Minnesota. I mean, I'm looking at Jaden Schwartz right now. And Jaden Schwartz, since the Four Nations Cup has ended, this is just arbitrary endpoint, but it's easy one to work with. He has 4.5 individual expected goals, but he only has 1 goal. He's been shooting well below his career rates. I mean, he's a career 12% shooter. And in that span, he's basically shooting at 3%. That's going to flip at some point. Maybe tonight is not the game where it does, but lots of minutes, lots of opportunity. I guess what hurts him the most is I think he's power play 2 and not power play 1 relative to Knies. But those are the guys that I'd be looking at in each game, and each is in the 3-1 range. I think both are valuable bets.
Okay, so we'll put that as our anytime goal parlay today. Quick and easy. I'm fine with that. Just if you do like the bets that Somani and I gave out in the Colorado game, and you want to tail that Knies one as well, and you want to get a little fun with obviously, it's very negatively correlated, but you get 23-1 on Knies anytime goal scorer, Avs money line, and under 6.5 in that game. It still gets there with the Leafs scoring a couple goals. Still very possible for that to happen with the Leafs scoring a couple. So yeah, just another thing to keep in mind there if you wanted to get on that. But we will do Knies and Jaden Schwartz as our anytime goal parlay today. No goal parlay. I will recap our best bets here for us as well before we get out of
Rob
here.
is so frustrating, man. I woke up this morning, there were only 2 games on the board, and I thought, you know what? Like, I've got time. Like maybe I can look at like a goal scorer prop. And I'm sitting there, I'm getting so excited. Yeah, I have 2 games. It's gonna be awesome. I'm gonna give it out. Fucking, it was Jaden Schwartz.
Well, that's it, man. Great minds think alike. Listen, it's not rocket science. You see these guys that are pretty consistently priced from game to game. Honestly, sometimes regardless of opponent, because there's not that much differentiation in the totals for these games. I just like to look at guys who I think have been getting looks and have struggled. And at some point it'll turn. Some people like to wait for it to turn and then jump on the bandwagon of that player. I like to try to time it every now and then. But listen, it's a light card. Why not get excited with, you cash 1 3-1 bet, post it to Twitter, victory lap. You don't cash either of them. They never happened. It's as simple as that.
Sorry, I'm just locking in Jaden Schwartz, no goal, minus 450 here on FanDuel. All right, there we go. So I will recap our best bets here before we get out of here. We have the Avs and Leafs under 6, minus 104, Avs minus 118. We have the Kraken and the Wild under 5.5, minus 102, and the Kraken plus 140. All those are full unit bets. I know somebody did say half a unit on the under, but I messaged a producer behind the scenes and said, I like that under, go full unit. No half units on this show, not tonight. So we are going full unit on all of these bets. And then the anytime goal parlay, we have Jaden Schwartz and Matthew Knies. Feel free to parlay those, bet those separately, whatever you want to do. That's it. Anything else you guys want to add here before we get out of here?
No, let's do it.
I mean, I was going to apologize.
Something like that. Anything? No,
I was going to apologize to the entire Montreal Canadian fan base, but then I thought about it more, and actually, I don't take that back at all. Well, I mean, it's what it is. Listen, not every fan base has equal intelligence, right? Some are smarter than others, certainly. And I think the Habs are going to be amongst the lowest in the entire league, which is why the building is always so loud. They just can't process the game in real time like other.
They're going to have a lot of French-speaking people in your DMs later today. Half of them are going to be sent over by me. Don't worry. I'm going to start posting this clip in the Habs Reddit forums and stuff. And we'll see. Just make your life miserable for the next couple of days.
I'm sure Rob's used to it at this point.
Yeah, I mean, this is not any different than any other day of my life. So let's make it happen.
Fair enough. All right, guys, I appreciate it. That will do it for us today. We will be back at 10:30 a.m. Eastern time again tomorrow, myself and So Money. If you guys can like the stream, post a comment. If you're not subscribed yet, please do subscribe. Follow us on Twitter. Anything you can do really does help us out and helps us grow. So appreciate it. Thank you again. And we will be back tomorrow morning. Until then, enjoy the games tonight and good luck on your bets.